fancy stuff in the background.
Yeah, we need a green screen so we can do the beat stuff in the background.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'll be back. Dog needs out.
Dog needs out. So we'll wait until she gets back so we'll get started.
How many people do we have show up already?
It usually takes a few minutes for people to start showing up. So I suspect we might get 12, 15 people throughout the hour that we're here, maybe more. Who knows? There's lots of people that are live at this time of night. So who knows? We've got RV Ashes in April here. Hello. We're hanging out with our friends Mark and Tina Hendrickson, are about ready to jump into the RV life, at least temporarily.
Semi-temporarily, could be permanent. We'll see.
So basically, we kind of put together this impromptu live session because Mark and I have worked together 4 different times. He just recently joined the company I work for now. He's supporting the West region like I am. I'm supporting it from St. Louis, but I travel all around. Mark's in South Carolina and supporting the West region. So he's actually going to relocate to the Western region. And here pretty soon, he's got a plan to just get an RV of some type and drive out here in the next month or so. And then they're just going to try to find a place where they're out there. So they're going to be full-time in whatever they end up getting. They're thinking of fifth wheel right now, but we're going to open it up to the audience to kind of give some feedback there if anybody has any feedback. Where was I at? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, they're going to do this with themselves, 2 children, and 3 dogs. So they need something big. They're thinking a large fifth wheel, maybe a Class A. Don't know about travel trailers or Class Cs, but all those are viable options. So Mark, why don't you kind of, we were talking right before you came on here, why don't you kind of give an idea of your plan, what you're going to be doing, how long you're going to be in it, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for doing this with us. But so we're just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. As Brad mentioned, we work together, and our plan is to move out west to Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, somewhere in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains. We lived in Colorado. We used to live in Durango. We've been out here for about 8 years, and we own a home out here. But we're gonna go out there, and I don't know. One day we just decided.
That's kind of how it happens.
I think it was after Chris and Brad. Brad came through here, and we were like, "That was a nice RV," and we thought we could live in that. And we went back and forth, and finally I think we had a few too many glasses of wine one night, and the next day I traded in my Toyota Tundra and bought a 1-ton dually, and so I think we're going with the fifth wheel because we've already made that truck jump. And we're buying if everything works out, it's in the shop right now, but I'm just getting checked out. But our neighbors have a 2004 Fleetwood Triumph, 4-slide, big 38-foot fifth wheel, big to us. I don't know if that's big. I mean, I've seen some 45-foot ones, but it's in really great shape. And we're getting it for next to nothing. So, in price comparisons to other things that I've looked at, especially. So, but we're looking to go out there, take our time, and try to get out there sometime around mid-June into the mountains and start looking at property and not be rushed, but try to look for 5, 10, even maybe up to 20 or 30 acres just available. And we might also look at some cabins that are pre-existing built. And if that happens, then I don't know that we'll continue to RV, but chances are we're going to buy raw property, and then we're going to have to make a decision to either go to Arizona or Southern California or South Texas or Florida or somewhere for the winter, because I'm not doing Montana in the winter in an RV. So
there's some that do that stuff, man. We've seen people that are full-time in those, and they skirt them up and all that stuff. But our plan, as you know, is to travel and follow the 70 and 80 degrees and stay away from the freezing temperatures. So I don't blame you for that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, we've never
actually chases the snow.
Somebody chases the snow in their RV?
Snowboard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you were a snowboarder, that would be kind of cool. You could just park right down at the beach in at A Basin and different places like that, or backcountry in with your RV.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
We're brand new to this. We've never RV'd. ever. I mean, that's
our-
not true. I had an RV when I lived in Colorado, but my wife wouldn't go anywhere in it. It was a 1972 Winnebago with orange 2-inch tall shag green carpet that I paid like $2,000 for. It was a party bus.
Cousin Eddie.
It was, you literally had to switch the tanks. You had to take your foot off the gas and the engine would die and you'd get the tank switched, and it was dangerous. I mean, it was a suicide mobile. But no, we're brand new to this. We've watched the movie RV, and we don't want the stinky slinky mishap. So we're open to any advice and anything that we can get. Here's our daughter Briley. She'll be in the truck with us.
Riley.
Can you say
Are
hi?
you excited about RV travel?
Yes.
Fun. It's lots of fun.
She's excited about the stinky slinky.
The kids, here's where the kids are. We have 2 big German Shepherds, and the kids are pushing for the RV and not the 5th wheel to give them more space and to chill out and be comfortable when they're on the road.
You know, some of the 5th wheels have just about as much.
5th wheels are huge. I
Yeah.
think the last one that Keep Your Daydream had was huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, from what we've seen,
It
it's a
was beautiful.
I think you have more room in a 5th wheel when you're actually camping.
Mm-hmm.
But don't make no mistake about it. We have a crew cab dually now, and with a crew cab dually and 2 kids and 2 adults and 3 dogs, it's going to be an interesting ride.
I didn't think about that aspect because we
He
always
needs a
had
GoPro inside.
we had
Yeah, we're gonna have a GoPro going.
Yeah, we need to see that journey.
We might have to turn it off at certain points.
You can go back and edit it.
Yeah.
You can get that out. When you're beating the kids, you can edit that out.
Yeah.
You can she's making big faces.
So anyway, that's kind of the plan, Brad, and we're looking forward to it. We're ready to get going, but there's a lot of logistical things to get ready before we can go.
Absolutely. Then we can talk about a few of those things. But first, you've kind of made close to making the decision on the rig, but I thought we'd spend a couple minutes talking about that as well. I'm not sure if anybody in here has a 5th wheel. We haven't had a 5th wheel. We just had 2 travel trailers, and then we moved to the motorhome, the coach. From our perspective, we wouldn't go back to pulling a 5th wheel or a travel trailer. At least that's what we say right now. Just because, I guess, number one, the sway that you get, even if you get a weight distribution system and all that, it's going to sway some when you got a trailer. I don't know about 5th wheels if they're as bad as travel trailers, but travel trailers, she was scared a few times, and
I was ready to
when the
sell
brake
it.
would activate because
was
the
like,
thing was
I'm done.
wobbling. But so that was probably the main thing. The second thing is just set up and tear down on the travel trailer. I mean, it's not that bad, 20, 30 minutes, but with the motorhome, it's literally like 5, you know, I mean, we can just pull in. But another thing is just the quality, especially, you know, if you're going to be in very hot climates or if you're going to be in cold climates, it's got the underbelly with heat, and you can get the 5th wheels that have that as well. It's got the onboard generator.
Yes.
There was just so many things about the Class A that we really like. I don't see us going back. What do you think about the difference between a trailer and a 5th
I
wheel?
agree. I mean,
And a
I love,
motorhome?
I've always loved Airstreams, but it's a trailer and I don't want to go back to that.
No.
So
And there's no slides in an Airstream, so it is.
they actually made one that I didn't realize that actually has a slide. There was one in Florida.
Really?
It was a 2000. Did I tell you it was 2008?
Wow.
They just made it for
I
that
think
year.
so.
It was cool, but I mean they're beautiful, but
So RV Ashes in April says they'd go for a 5th wheel with a bunk room if you have kids. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a good point because we don't have the kids. We do have the grandkids from time to time. So that was one of the selling features for the toy hauler that we have now, the motorhome toy hauler, because it's got a garage with 2 queen beds. So when we take them for the summer, we're going to leave the motorcycles behind, unfortunately. But we've got Eagle White Rider rental, so we'll let the dogs watch the kids.
yeah.
And we'll go for a couple motorcycle rides or something. But we'll just take the motorcycles out of the garage, put those beds down, and then the kids will have a place to hang out in there. So the bunk rooms are really cool.
Okay. So that's the one thing about this. I mean, We're gonna, I think, unless something falls through, we're probably going to. I'm 95% sure we're gonna end up with this, with the one that we originally planned on buying, just because it's a used model. We're not in it a lot of money,
Right.
and I know the people, and he takes immaculate care of everything, and he owns, and it's in pristine shape.
What's the floor plan of that one like?
Well, I've only seen it once. It's kind of odd, but like I said, we're getting a really good deal on it. So, but it's got a queen bed in it. So when you walk in, I guess you go up these little stairs, over to the part that goes over the truck.
So the bedroom?
That is the living room. It's got a fire. Okay. There's a fireplace up there and a TV and 2 offset couches that fold out into beds or, whatever. And then down below is the kitchen.
I just sent it to you on the
we just sent it to you on text, the floor plan.
To me or to Brad?
Christina.
To Chris. And then it's got the table and chairs versus the booth, which I think is kind of nice because if you needed that space for something else, you can move them out of the way. And then it's got the bedroom in the back. I think it's a queen bed. And then it's got a 1 bathroom with a big shower. I mean, big for an RV shower. My experience in RVs was going with my grandparents in an Airstream when I was growing up. And we didn't shower in it. I mean, we went to the campground showers.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. We see a lot of people doing that at the parks that we go to. They'll be going to the bathhouses. We use ours, but especially when we have hookups, we use ours. I see at some of the state parks where you don't have full hookups, using the showers and stuff there, so you can conserve your water and don't have to dump and stuff.
This unit also has, it does have heated tanks and everything. Like I said, in 2004, I guess it was considered luxury. So it's nice. It's nice inside. Now, it's not as nice as some of the ones that I've looked at since we kind of talked about this and got into this.
Yeah.
We're blown away at where the RV industry has gone.
Well, it's crazy.
Yeah, so RV Ashes in April said they have a 33-foot Class C, but it's just the 2 of them. We didn't really look at any Class Cs, but when we were in Tampa for the RV show in Tampa, we looked at some Super Cs, and they had a Super C down there that was fantastic, but it was $550,000 or $560,000, but it was gorgeous.
I looked at one last night with her online on RV Trader, and I fell in love with it. It had the international chassis. It looks like you're driving a semi.
Yeah.
I'm like, you expect me to drive that? That's huge. No.
Piece of cake.
She enjoys driving the motorhome way better than the travel trailers.
Yes.
Again, we haven't done the fifth wheel, but I think it's probably a bit easier in some ways than the travel trailer.
It is. I mean, when we were in Colorado, and you knew this, Brad. I mean, I was putting in cable, and when I was hauling excavators around and stuff on fifth wheel flatbeds, and fifth wheels do pull easier than a bumper pull.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Super C's are big sucks, or big bucks.
Yeah, they are. Well, I do have a question for you. They were talking about, Mark had called a couple of places in Montana.
Oh, this is a good question.
Yeah. And the laundry facility, what's happening in some of these RV parks now, especially on the West Coast, is that because of the virus, the bathrooms and the laundry facilities are shut down. Mm-hmm. We have a hookup in this fifth wheel that we're looking at.
We don't have the unit.
We don't have the unit.
Wired and plumbed for a washer, dryer, one unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, our motorhome's wired for one as well.
It is?
I think it was. I think it's wired for one. Is it not? Maybe it's not.
No,
we looked at so many of them, but we've never done that. But we also never had to face this issue where some of the laundries would be closed.
Yeah. Because we've also got the laundry mats that were outside of that. But
now, do Don and Amelia have? They do.
They've got it's the washer dryer in one unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at those. Have y'all checked into them, or what brand?
No, because I'm pretty sure we don't have the ability to put one in there, and I don't know where we put it. But I have
If we did,
seen
we'd
other
have to give up some
people,
of our storage space. I think one of the closets might be able to be.
Less Junk, More Journey, and their fifth wheel has one, and they love it, and they travel with 2 little kids.
And there may be somebody in here, if you guys have
Yeah.
a washer and dryer in your unit, go ahead and comment.
Yeah.
And I do also know we have a friend, Don and Nelia Wall, who have a motorhome,
Mhm.
and they have one there. So I can connect you with them to ask about their unit
They like it.
as well. They like it. So they can tell you what kind they have and all that. I think it was probably factory installed with the Winnebago that they got. But
my only experience with the one unit that does the wash and the dry was in Australia when I was traveling down there, and I think it took like 4 hours to do a load. I mean, it took forever. I mean, we go through a lot of laundry, so it may run nonstop.
I have to ask.
a good point from Burning Up the Road. She's just saying, because of this kind of new normal, we're not sure what it's going to be after all this goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be self-reliant as possible.
Yeah, that's what. So, and we have to do laundry with 4 people.
Even during all this lockdown, you're not just like wearing the same clothes every day. I mean,
Oh no.
who cares?
We have a little girl that likes to play dress up and change clothes like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen now, but
No.
What other questions you guys have?
Okay. I'm assuming everybody goes with non-breakable or chip-resistant dishes and plates and cups and stuff, like Corral or.
We've got a set that I got from I think it was
Dollar General?
it was Costco. They're like a hard plastic, but they look really nice. The only problem with them is that they're not microwave safe.
Yeah.
I would say for the most part, we use, if we're not hooked up, full hookup, we use paper plates. Just because having to wash the dishes, you fill up your gray tank really
Right.
quick. And what else? We
We have-
use silverware and not plastic
Yeah, silverware.
ware.
And our cups, we use glasses.
Yeah, cups we use non-breakable, but Curel is great. I mean, I would get just their basic set of that
Yeah.
that you can use when you are hooked up full time with
And
the
then-
hookups.
There's some tricks that you can do with your storage areas for organizing them to make it
Yeah.
a little bit easier. Things don't move around as much. She's kind of the master on that. And Keep Your Daydream does a lot of, Trish does a lot of organizational stuff. They're very good resources there. There's plenty of other channels that do that as
Command strips are your friend.
A what?
Command
strips.
hooks and
All those sticky things, the
for
3
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well. Velcro kind
for
of thing.
pictures, for the things to
Small
grab
appliances.
your broom handles and mop handles and key holders, everything. That's what we use.
Okay.
And I think it's a lot of trips to, for me, it was a lot of trips to Walmart and Target basically I'd go there and I'd see different storage, options, and then just bring them back and see which ones worked and then return the ones that didn't. But
yeah.
And while you guys are coming up with some more questions, I'll throw it out to the people who are watching here. When you were brand new, what's something that you learned or something you would suggest Mark and Tina think about as they first get going into their journey? What's something to consider, some advice for getting on the road? And while those come in, Tina, what's your next question?
I had to let the dog.
your turn.
Anything. Yeah. I think that having.
I don't really know. I mean,
Yeah,
we're gonna hit the road. I'm sure we'll be. A lot of it we're gonna have to wing it because we've never done this before.
Like tools, like
Well, I'm taking all my tools.
he's gonna say,
I'm taking all my tools. I'm not gonna be stuck on the side of a road without a tool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And the
that
full
brings you back to keep your daydream. If you watch Mark, he's got a couple of totes in the back of his
Yeah.
truck. And he even said something the other day about he has tools that he doesn't even think he knows how to do the work. But when you're traveling in this community in these RV parks, everybody is super helpful. So what he's
Yes.
saying, if he has the tool and something goes wrong with the truck, like some adjusting his leaf springs, he's got a special tool for that that he brought with him or something. And he said somebody there probably knows how to do it. And that way they don't have to go find a tool, because a lot of people don't travel with their tools. So if you've got a truck with a bed and have room to take your tools, I'm sure, that's probably a good idea to take more rather than less. But you'll find that you tend to run out of space.
Or
We
you
did,
over-
especially
like-
on a travel trailer.
Like RV Ashes in April said that, I know when we first started, we overpacked. And you kind of realize, okay, I really didn't need this.
And there's
and
a
then
lot of stuff we
sometimes-
didn't need.
And then
We
there's
just-
sometimes we've underpacked, like cold weather came and we have t-shirts.
Well, and that's what we're gonna have to work that, because we're on the East Coast where it's
Hot and humid.
Hot and humid.
South
Well,
Carolina.
Fifth wheels have a lot of,
They got a
a
lot
lot
more
of
space than the
storage.
travel trailers we had to start with.
yeah. So, to be able to, get a couple totes for everybody to put, warmer clothes in that's out of the way and not inside, I think that would be a lot easier than in a travel trailer for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know now that we've got the Class A, we've got a few bins that are completely empty when we usually leave.
I like it that way.
By the time we come back,
I do.
sometimes
I
they're
hate
not
feeling.
empty. I mean, like this.
I'm sure he was mispointing.
Yeah, no.
No, he's saying he has to keep a couple of bins open in case you find something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah. Nice save there.
Is he
They're brand new too, so they're just getting
What's
started on
that?
this journey too.
Oh, cool. So that's Ozark Pathfinders?
Yep.
They're new too?
Yeah.
Or what are they going with? A fifth wheel or an RV?
They will let us
Let's
know in
see.
chat. I imagine in just a second. We've got Burning Up the Road says thinking have a storage layout, planning is imperative. So
Mhm.
when you get the unit, definitely spend a few days beforehand, like she does, kind of Tetrising it, getting the things in there, getting organization, especially before your first trip, probably even a week or two before, so you can go figure out which areas you need to get some different storage things, and you get ideas off of these different sites on different ways to do your storage, your cabinets, and that type of stuff.
What?
Ideally, we would go on a weekend trip to figure all this out. But our first trip is 9 states away, 25-hour drive.
Yeah.
So when we leave here, if we don't have it, we ain't getting it unless we buy it. And I don't want to buy it, so I'm taking it. Like my air compressor, I'm going to take that air compressor.
Hello,
Might need air.
Marketed. We just renovated an older bumper pull.
Nice.
I wanted to do that. Renovate an old.
Yeah, when we originally started, we were going to get a small, like retro 17-foot.
Yeah, little Shastas. I wanted the little one.
That's what kind of started it. We ended up with
Well,
You
then-
should have a little teardrop.
Harleys in the back.
well, and we also
Hey, I do have a question. And I don't know that even if someone has done it, I don't know that I'll do it or would even consider doing it, but I am curious to know, have you done it, and is it legal to put a trailer on the back of my fifth wheel to haul her 4Runner?
In some states, I believe it is.
I would put it on a flatbed trailer and pull it. I'm not going to back up, obviously, but
I think
straight
you have,
line.
check the states and interstate guidelines. I think it's illegal in California, but I'm not sure about the other states. Somebody in the room might have some more information on that. And you also have to go validate your information, because I've seen some threads on Facebook where you'll get 40 answers and 20 on one side and 20 on the other, so you're not sure which one it is.
get the big one with a bar.
Papa Drew's always has to have a bar. I made the mistake of going on his live show last Friday night. It was to tell jokes, and found out it was a drinking game.
You need a bar in your RV.
Oh, dude.
After last night,
After
I don't care if
last
I have
night-
another bar.
You'll have a cabinet that's just for alcohol.
Yeah, and I was going to say a second ago, how did you start that sentence? Is it illegal? If Mark starts a sentence with that, the answer is always yes, usually when he asks that question.
have a
And
check.
RV Ashes in April says, have a checklist for everything before you drive off. Actually, my best advice would be enjoy the journey, go slow.
Yeah.
Don't overdrive. Don't drive 8-10 hours a day. Don't drive fast to get where you're going. You know, I know with the travel trailers, we drove 55, 60 miles an hour. That was it, because so many people have blowouts on those travel trailers. We kept underrated speeds. We just took our time. A lot of times we got off the interstate and took the highways, and that was usually the highways are in better shape than the interstates. The other thing is double check, have a checklist. We've still made a few mistakes, but you'll see some of these channels have made some major mistakes. I mean, they're honest mistakes, but they make some pretty expensive mistakes. We haven't. Probably the worst thing we did, well, I hit a curb trying to make a turn for her real quick to get a shake and blew a tire. And then the other thing was we left the antenna, the TV antenna up. We left for about 80 miles, but we didn't hit anything, thank God. I don't know how we didn't. Yeah.
Those overpasses, you know, that are just like, I'm shocked.
Have a check. Oh, yeah.
That's what.
So we actually on that.
That's what I'm worried about. That daydream thing.
That Daydream, they have checklists that you can go print out. They're pretty good, pretty thorough. So yeah,
They also have on their dash the height of their rig.
Yeah.
So then that way, like we've come up to a low clearance and we're like, what's the height again? And we're just panicked for a second, like, do we clear this?
Well, if you're on the interstate, you're fine, because I mean the big rigs are going
there. If the
there.
off ramp says do 45, do 45.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit less.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then we had RV Ashes in April here said depends on the state about pulling the third trailer. We've seen some pretty crazy setups. I'm not sure that the third trailers scare me as much as the much as some of these people that'll have like a motorhome or whatever, and then they'll have a trailer behind it, and on the bottom they'll have like motorcycles or a tow car or something that's on a dolly, and then above that they'll have like a boat or something over the top of it, or the one guy we saw had like a big 6x6 off-road vehicle, and so it's stacked up. It was a huge fifth wheel that's tall enough already, right? Or actually it was a motorhome, and then he had that thing Presley, and it was another, I don't know how many feet above his actual truck. Does anybody want a Husky?
He did a full-on video on buying an RV and all the mistakes I made. Papa Drew's RV. Write that down.
Papa Drew's RV.
Yep. There's a lot of channels you get on YouTube, and you just, in fact, you know, I could show you some more than the few that I gave you the other day, but
I did.
yeah, sorry. Here we've got a friend in the community, so this is another channel. Bob at Blue Wave Odyssey, great guy. Can be helpful with the stuff that you guys are looking for, but also, and just you'll find meeting all these people, it kind of becomes a family. And one of the they're actually both firefighters, but she has cancer, and she's been having a pretty bad battle with cancer. So we'll add them to our prayers. And you find it's a great community. In fact, this community of RV people have raised. Last time I heard, it was around $8,000 just in donations from the RV community for Jerry Holly's cause as well. So really cool.
That's awesome. That's good. I did have another question. So
if you start to drive away and you see someone pointing,
yeah, nobody pointed, or else we didn't see it. Nobody pointed at ours when our antenna was up. Yeah. Thankfully, like I said,
you'd asked me when you and I were talking, Brad. You'd asked me about if this fifth wheel had an onboard generator, and it does not.
Yeah. But
I do have a 2,000 watt inverter, one of them little Honda inverters that'll run everything but the AC. I also have a 12 kW and a 4 kW open frame generator that I could put in the back of my pickup to only run like, I wouldn't run it in a campground, but I might think about running it like if we're boondocking at a Cabela's or a Walmart, where I really don't care because the noise there is insane anyway. Or should I just pony up the money for one of those 3,500 watt inverters? And
we had the coffee trailer that you remember we served coffee before we had our coffee shop. And we had one of those 10K generators that was $1,200 or something. and we drove other vendors crazy. We couldn't even hardly hear our customers when they were ordering. We would try to put things 60, 70 feet away. We spent $4,000 on the Honda generator, the absolute best purchase. Those things they are fantastic. If it was me, and obviously we were running a full 240 amp espresso machine. You might not need all of that if you're not planning on powering your air conditioner.
No, I want to power. That's the thing, is I want to power the air conditioner.
Yeah. Then you're gonna want to get about as big of a Honda super quiet generator that you can. I think. I don't know if other people have some experience there or not. We'll see if they do before I do that. You can see Papa Drew's. He's all about the comedy, so he sleeps on the couch a lot.
I accidentally blew my kid.
It's accidentally blew my kids.
Sleep on the couch a lot.
And then just send the laughing emoji, and it sent a kiss. So that's a little awkward.
Thanks, Papa Drew. That'll work. I'll have to remember that one.
Yeah.
I'm not driving.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I think
I was blushing.
So does anyone on here know if a 3,500 watt inverter generator will actually run a 15,000 BTU AC unit?
got a lot of people in nomadic hippie, Linda Barker, Lucky Dog. We'll wait and see if any of those, if that answer comes in. I know somebody the other day was they had like a 2,000 kilowatt.
New Vision says Harbor Freight has ones that are similar to Honda.
Harbor Freight has some that are similar to Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'd go.
They're called Predators.
Yeah,
Write that down.
I already know which one it is.
Oh,
It's
They're 500 and it runs everything.
Honda's $4,000.
Yeah,
Right here. I have a
very young,
3,500.
but they are better. But
Here's nomadic hippie. He says he has a Predator 3,500 and it runs everything. I'm not sure what unit you have, nomadic hippie, a travel trailer or fifth wheel. Those of you who joined late, Mark and Tina are just getting ready to get their first unit, and they're looking for some help from the community on equipment, suggestions, and things like that. And actually, Mark, you might want to bookmark this. Lucky Dog Productions moderator. Actually, her husband Bob. This is Sue. Her husband Bob. Lucky Dog. It's the name of his channel. I think Lucky Dog Productions. And he's been RVing for a long time. And he also does live streams every Monday night right before this one. So it's 6 o'clock Eastern time on Monday nights. You can tune in and asking questions on there as well.
Hey! Did you see that?
33-foot motorhome. He runs everything off of that.
Gosh.
So
okay.
Put that in an RV.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
We've got a
What
30.
is your problem? What?
If you know how to wire.
Oh, like,
Don't listen to much of what Papa Drew has to say, I guess.
what do you want?
I'll have to remember that if I ever park next to Papa Drew.
We're gonna do that to Papa Drew. We're gonna.
That's great. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was thinking the other day,
questions.
it's been 2 years since we started, so we kind of need to do a live like this and make a list of the things,
Ow.
because we have made some mistakes. Like I said, none of them were huge mistakes, but there were certain. We locked ourselves out
Do you need food?
twice. It's easy to do with the locks that they have on the RVs, because they've got the little bolt lock and then the other lock, and if you go outside and close it and the bolt lock, even though
I don't know.
I can't remember how we did it, but we locked ourselves out twice.
It was the
And
first
so
day
we
we
ended up.
had that one.
I would recommend getting the touchpad
The combination touchpad thing.
one, so you can't necessarily be locked out unless that
But
malfunctions.
keep the key to that in
Yeah.
your vehicle.
Because we got one, and it's one that's highly rated, but for us, it kept malfunctioning and it wouldn't open with the code, so we'd have to go get the key and use the key for that.
Yeah.
Hey, do you carry around wood blocks to like level left to right, or do you get those little Lego looking things? What are y'all?
We had the
We had
Lego
the
looking things
Legos.
with the travel trailers there, and then there's also some things
You
that
still have them.
No, we got rid of. We donated them when we were out there. We donated
Really?
all that stuff. But yeah, we had a couple sets of those. They were pretty handy. We also had the X chocks, which go between the tires, And that was very helpful, along with these things called Anderson levelers
Those were
that
great.
you can just roll up on them and they'll help level. And then they got a chalk on the front side, so you can get it nice and leveled and chalked in, and then get that X chalk on there, and that'll give you less movement when you're walking around or the kids are running around. And you'll still have quite a bit of movement in a trailer, I would think, but a lot less when you use those things.
Okay.
Anderson leveler, right there.
I know what that is.
Oh, okay.
He knows it all, Tina.
I know what those are.
Then when we get there, he'll be like,
What was that called?
I don't know what they're called. I just know I need them.
Yeah.
I have to take my.
That's a pretty funny one, Papa Drew's. That's not what you do with duct tape. I told you on your show you with duct tape.
I understand duct tape is it looks like it's a necessity.
Yeah,
Duct tape is a necessity.
Yeah. That's
How to open the door? Oh my gosh!
he sent his 8-year-old in and then had to spend 3 hours.
That would be Landon.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
actually, one time it was the day that we sold the coffee shop. We went to the coffee shop, we were selling it. We spent all day there. We did a big event. We get back to our place about an hour later, and we had just bought the second travel trailer. It was like our second weekend in it, maybe our first weekend in it. And we had locked ourselves out. And so the only thing we could find was you jimmied over one of the side windows.
Yeah, the window lock didn't work very well because I was able to jimmy it open.
And fortunately, one of the neighbors had like a 4-year-old kid that we put in through the window that got us in there. But yeah, we learned.
I was hoping Chris had video of you trying to get in that little window.
You're right.
What? No, she doesn't take much video of me. I wish we would have caught some. That's the other thing is we get a lot of people will capture if they're going to have a YouTube channel. They do very good at if they have something that happens like a flat tire or anything like that. They're like camera, they're taking footage. I don't usually slow down to do that. I probably should, but I usually don't. Let's see what we got here. Nomadic Hippie says duct tape and paper clips fix everything.
Command strips.
Park versus boondocking. Like, how long do you think we can realistically stay in our trailer with no hookups? Like 3 days?
Well, that's an interesting one because that's one of the things that's on probably my mistake list. If you've got a generator, that'll help you a lot.
Yeah.
When we started with our travel trailer, the guy's like, well, you got a battery. The battery probably lasts 24 hours, right? And so, I kind of took his word for it. I had a horrible monitor, just like had lights of how much you had on your battery. And so we went to sleep. I woke up in the morning. We had 25%. Basically, the batteries were pretty much toast. They never got up to full charge after that because I let it go below 50%. And so I figured 24 hours, if we went to sleep 8 hours, we'd be fine. But so we killed those batteries.
Or the time that the battery was dead and the alarm was going off.
Yeah, and then the other, yeah.
We thought we were getting fumigated.
Yeah, then we had just left, and I guess it didn't have enough time to really charge the battery up. When we went to sleep, and it started beeping, and I was like, "What's going off?" I thought it was we were at a rest area, so I thought it was carbon monoxide or whatever coming in from the diesel that was parked next to us because he had his generator going. And so I'm like, what is that? What is that? So we get up and we drive and we leave and we park and then it goes off again. And I realized it was just a low battery alert that was going off. And so, yeah, batteries, if you're going to boondock and you're going to kind of run off a generator, run off the batteries, you really got to monitor your battery levels. You don't want to let them go below 75, 50%.
Do you guys run any type of solar? Like,
we don't.
Like any supplemental solar?
We don't, but we would like to. I would like to put some panels up on top and upgrade to some lithium batteries so we could be a little bit more self-sufficient. I think if it's just the two of us and we go out without a whole lot of, we could probably do 5 to 7 days without a whole lot of like painful conservation of water and dumping our tanks. We could probably do 5 to 7 days pretty easily. And others can do a lot longer than that. They get into how they get rid of their gray water and limit their black tank or get a compostable black tank, we're not going to go that far. But there's a lot of resources out there across these channels of people that are doing that different type of thing that you can learn from how they're doing it.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. So I found RV Parky. It's a free app. Y'all are probably familiar with it. Is there one that you recommend better? I think y'all said All Stays at one point. I only went RV Parky was free, and I'm new to this, but-
Campandium.
Yeah, there's a few, and I honestly, she does more of that, and I haven't found something where she's like, I'll let her speak for herself. But me,
Love a Pete.
one dog after the next. This is how they are as soon as I sit down to work. Actually, that's a good point. Bob says here with Blue Wave Odyssey, there's actually somebody in the community called the Dry Campers. They've got a YouTube channel, and they are traveling solar installers. So if you're going to do solar, that's a great resource.
Okay. It's the batteries that cost so much. Those things are like $1,000.
Yeah, $750 to $1,000 for the lithium batteries.
Yeah. Also, and Campendium.
You like the Campendium?
Yeah,
We can boot up.
kind of.
30 gallon.
I kind of use multiples and see which one.
And they have different resources. I know where.
Listen, I'm not kidding.
No one drank my beer.
Oops. Hey, babe.
We've also got that Jones in the Travel. He'll hook you up with a full system and install it. So lots of resources out there. I know you asked a question about, do we have to get reservations if we're traveling? And there's a lot of opinions on that too. We've been traveling for 2 years, and there was really only one time where we couldn't find a place to stay for one night. And we ended up, I told you that story, Mark. We ended up boondocking in Oakley, Kansas, just right off the state. Don't boondock in Oakley, Kansas, unless you've got enough to run your generator and keep your windows closed with AC, because it was a dairy farm nearby, and you were tasting not dairy. It was not dairy.
It was not dairy product
because it was 90 something degrees in the summertime. So, yeah, but for the most part, unless you're going, I think, to a really popular area during a particular season,
like Yellowstone in the summer.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, Yellowstone's so big and has so many locations that you might not need anything there to stay for a short stay. I know when we were going to Florida, we were at a park, and there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, if you don't get your reservations, you won't get in down here in Florida." That might be true for some areas, but our RV park was not full the whole time we were down there. They were having people coming in, coming out. But those might have been shorter stays. So if you're going to want to stay somewhere for a long period of time, you definitely want to probably look into it. If you can move around, you don't really care where you're staying in a general 100-mile radius or something like that, I don't think it's critical to lock yourself in to stay in certain areas, because part of what we like is being able to stop if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you find out when these RV people open up sessions like this? What is there, like a common group, or is there like a membership, or is it just you guys traveling around the country? Because I mean, you've got a lot of cool people that are popping up. Like, and how do you know when? On
this community here on YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, you can search on channels.
Somebody like Monday night at 6. Oh, sorry.
You can also search on tags RV Life and find different channels. Another thing that you can do is just attend these lives. Actually, Blue Wave Odyssey Bob can email you a guide. I'll actually send your email to Bob, and he can send you a guide, and it'll tell you when all the channels are live. Now, not all the channels are always doing RV help content. They do all different types of live sessions. But even if they're doing something different, you typically can connect with somebody in the chat and just ask them a question. The other thing is to search for what your question is, and you'll be able to find different channels that have done videos on those topics before as well.
Yeah.
Why the person that suggested the fifth wheel? What are the bonuses on the fifth wheel versus the RV?
I think They mentioned having a bunk room or having an extra room. I think it's just the extra room. And the way it doesn't sound like your floor design. I think when they mean bunk room, it might be the one.
Beds.
Yeah.
Oh, where the kids are separate from the.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, we really don't care because we don't know what's going on. If we can't find property, we're going to upgrade.
Yes.
So you're expecting to be full-time for at least
3 months.
At least 3 months.
But it could be for the next 18 months.
Right, because your plan A is probably find property and build, right?
Plan A is either find property and build or find property with a cabin on it that's fully furnished.
Yeah, if you have a cabin on it, then you're probably just going to be 3 months and move into the cabin, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're probably going to be more like 12 to 18 months, find property and build something.
Correct.
Correct.
But if we go past 3 months, I don't know. We'll see. I'm leaning towards
The RV.
I'm leaning towards we'll see how the first 2,500 miles goes out there pulling a fifth wheel with the dogs and the kids and living in it like that for 3 months. We may be okay with it, but I'm prepared that at the end of the summer, if we hadn't found something and we've made the commitment to go south, I'm 90% positive we're going to find something else like a big Class A and just move.
Right.
That transition. I just think it'll be easier for the traveling piece of it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of advantages. Like you said, if you're in a fifth wheel, you've got less room in your truck that you're pulling for 2 kids and 3 dogs than you would if you had a motorhome and the dogs and kids can be in there and have a little more space. Yeah, and I think Blue Wave Odyssey says it here. You have your own preferences. Some people like their travel trailers, bumper pulls even. I wouldn't say I didn't like mine. The sway didn't bother me near as much as it bothered Chris. But to me, it was just what I like about the motorhome is when you're driving, your window is huge, like a big screen TV.
Yeah.
So you can see this panoramic view when you're driving through these beautiful areas that you're not going to get out of the front windshield of a truck or even a Class C, right? Those Class A's have just these massive, windshields, and you can really that's what I noticed the most. And to me, it was way easier to drive. I could pay attention to the road. I could pay attention to looking around and seeing, some of the scenery.
Has anybody camped for quite some time in Montana or Wyoming that have recommended? I love fifth wheels, DRV, full house play. Has anybody stayed in a great campsite in Montana or Wyoming that you would recommend?
Yeah, we'll see what those questions come back with. We haven't stayed in Montana yet, I don't think.
Specifically like Bozeman, Helena.
Yeah, we might have stayed one night on our way through, but we haven't had that much experience. I think we're taking more of a southern route this way and then maybe coming back to the north, because what we're hoping is that in the end of July, when we come back from Seattle area, or that you guys are going to be out there and we can stop and spend a couple days with you guys. Full-time Dreams asking, how many kids and dogs do you guys have?
2 kids and 3 dogs, 2 guinea pigs, and a lizard.
And that'll be we do some trivia on our channel every Wednesday night, and we're doing some questions like that. So Papa Drews likes our toy hauler because he sleeps on the couch a lot. And then here's a cool channel, Sweet Travel. So Papa Drews was talking about having. I know you don't have a semi truck, but this has got such a cool setup. Sweet Travels, they've got a semi truck pulling a fifth wheel behind it, I believe.
You're really making me.
Okay, we have about 12 minutes left. Any other questions?
Any other tips?
I don't have any.
I don't know if we have any more questions.
We're looking forward to the journey and the
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah.
And we're going to document.
Don't bring the dogs. That's the deal.
Hey, good luck.
Hey, buddy.
She
What?
never does this
Stop
when we want her to be on
calling
camera.
me.
She never does this.
Oh my God.
You want to say hi to everybody?
Oh,
That was the head. Come here.
I'll get the head on the table.
Come here, Jack. Why won't you do it when I want you to?
Oh,
There you go.
there you go.
yes.
Here's a tip from Time Dream
That's
as far as
Jack?
Class A's.
Jack.
There's some safety issues in Class
Look,
A's
he's
if the
so
seat bolts are
cute.
not bolted to the rig. Most of them bolted to the sides.
Your ears?
So,
Oh, that's a good point.
But
Seat belts in the Class A's not bolted to the frame or whatever.
Well, I think the one on our couch is, but the one in the dinette, probably not, because that's on the slide.
yeah, that's right. So the one, our dinette's on the slide. So the one on the couch side that's not on a slide is probably the safer bet.
Yeah, bolted to the side of, there's just that much plywood and tin or fiberglass.
Well, yeah, bolted to the floor, right?
I don't know. I think if we move forward and I don't, if we don't find, I'm looking at a Provost. The one, I think it's called a Provost. I hadn't showed you those yet.
Say hi.
Prevost.
Provost. Yeah. If you're gonna do it, go all the way.
Yeah, they're pretty
Go
expensive.
big or go home, yeah.
They're nice.
There's a lot of them out there.
A
I'm
shit
tight.
porn.
I'm tight. I don't want to spend that kind of money knowing that it's gonna. I mean, if you could get an older one, we could.
Yeah, not a brand new one. They're millions of dollars.
Terry
Yeah,
Bison
they had an older one.
Ranch.
Terry Bison RV Ranch.
In Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne. Okay.
Go check out the video on Blue Wave Odyssey.
We have a
Blue
video.
Wave Odyssey. And he does us a live that I attend pretty much every Saturday night as well. And he'll have close to 100 people on his live every Saturday night. So you connect with a lot of people there. There's a lot of new ones. There's a lot of established channels. We're getting new ones every weekend. So that's another one. If you guys don't have anything to do on Saturday night, I think it's 6:30. It would be 7:30 Eastern time.
Okay.
Just so much information. And in fact,
Yeah.
another one is a fairly new channel, but he does a lot of really good DIY and tips, and that's Imagine Your Odyssey. But again, I'll overwhelm you with a lot of different channels, and a lot of them do similar content, just in a different perspective or a different way. What else? Any other tips?
You got any other questions?
My head is like swimming with all these details.
It'll be okay.
You and Patricia because of the OCD and you want to keep things as clean as possible, with
Oh, what about chairs?
that was the question.
Like camp chairs? Like, do you just get the folded ones? Or, I mean, obviously you want them to collapse down as small as possible. You also don't want
3 or 4 different types. That's one of the things that we get a new set each time we go.
Well, I like the mushroom ones.
She got the mushroom ones. We had the recliner ones. I kind of like those, but are they here or do we get the
zero gravity ones?
We couldn't
Oh,
get
yeah,
them
that's
into
right.
the new one, remember?
Yeah, we couldn't even get them to fit, so we gave them away when we traded the other. When we traded into our motorhome, they didn't fit in any of the.
We have the rocking ones.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which
the
are
rockers,
nice.
those are nice.
I just like what are they called? Not mushroom saucer. I don't know. They're just, you kind of sink in and they're comfortable. So we've got both of those.
Papa Drew says they're the best chairs. People will fight to sit in them. And
Which
he
ones?
did a video. Look at his quartzite video.
Which ones are?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'll have to go watch it. We'll go watch Papa Drew's quartzite video after The Voice tonight. Lazy boy recliners.
Right.
I'm not big on the no gravity chairs. That's the no
Oh,
gravity was
that
the
was
ones we
them.
had. That's the ones we had, and they were taking up. They're kind of.
They take up a lot of room.
Yeah, they are.
What
A lot of
about
people want 'em.
there's so many debate back and forth on the foldable wagons and stuff.
Oh, that's
we
a
love our folding
must-have.
wagon.
Okay. I was just asking some people,
Yeah, we use it for garbage. We use it
Laundry.
for laundry. If your site is away from the laundry facilities in a campground,
We used it for gathering wood.
yeah, we use it for
We
everything.
used it to haul infants around when we were taking walks, along with the wood.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could haul me around.
right.
Okay. Foldable wagons.
What other products? What other
The
products?
hose.
Oh yeah, the 0G hose.
Yeah, I'm getting one of those.
Definitely
Yeah.
want to go with those.
Oh, do y'all use one of those? I don't remember us ever doing it when I was long time ago, but we're a 50 amp service if we get this fifth wheel, but a surge protector.
Yeah, well, we did not have one on our first 2 travel trailers. I was just, I guess, stubborn. I don't know. I just never had one. I've heard about people that get them stolen, so I didn't really invest the $300 or $400 on them when we had travel trailers. But when we got the RV, and I'm spending $125 for an RV, and I figured $300 or $400 to protect all of the appliances and the. So a lot of people will say absolutely surge protector, and I think that's one of those things where if you buy one, you're going to protect yourself. If you don't buy one, you might have saved $300, but that ain't going to matter when you have a problem. So I would have one. Some people lock them in. They get a lock. There's some lock setups that you can do where you can padlock so that people don't steal it.
People really steal stuff at RV campground? Like they just steal your stuff?
Yeah, we've seen there's a lot of videos out there. We haven't never had anything stolen so far. And we're kind of naive, I guess. Maybe we don't go have all these security parameters in place because we haven't had any issues. But you see a lot of people having some challenges getting bikes stolen and stuff like that. Traveling Larsons says they have a chain lock set up on their surge protector. So I don't know if they have a video on it, but you could always reach out to them on their channel. Let's see here. And they also say certainly surge protector.
Yeah, I guess one refrigerator could cost you $1,000. You may as well have a surge protector.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've also seen some, back to the surge protector, as far as we've seen people that have plugged in and it just, melts the thing, or it melts it overnight and stuff like that. We haven't had anything like that, but like I said, all it takes is once. I think Less Junk More Journey did have something like that where it melted on their Airstream, I think. And Traveling Larson says they'll shoot a quick video for you and show you their lock setup on their surge protector. So that's awesome.
Oh, cool. That'd be cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, just got a couple more minutes, guys. We can do this again in a couple weeks before you head out on the road if you want, and ask some more questions. Again, we also do it on Wednesday night. We do a game night on Wednesday nights, but happy to have you guys come on there and ask some questions as well. Because while we're playing, people are talking and having conversations on the side as well.
We'll do once we get it here and it's in the driveway and we're loading it out, we might do it and do a live walkthrough.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, you need to start your RV. That's the next question. When are you going to start your YouTube channel?
We're going to start it. Tina's in charge of it. That's her new job. Make money, baby.
Well, if you get it started, you definitely come to Blue Wave Odysseys live on Saturday night. Like I said, there's 100 different channels on there. You'll get a bunch of friends in the community very quick.
No, we just appreciate you guys doing this. This has been huge help, and we may have more questions. So
I'm sure we will.
But
we go through it.
We're in it to have fun. Freedom, kind of, I think the virus thing, and now that we need to relocate out west, this is just, if we're going to do it, it's the time. The kids are young enough and we're still young, and we just need to do it.
I don't know if Mark told you, Tina, but in his contract it says he has to put in a pad for me to rent for free of charge anytime I come out there.
We're there.
Well, we're gonna have a pad.
We'll go snowmobiling in West Yellowstone.
The only problem is that if I have a pad, our RV will be on it when they come.
Two spots.
We'll have 2 pads.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Mark. And thanks everybody for coming in, giving some feedback. It's much appreciated. I guess we'll probably be reaching out to some of you on your channels and seeing some of your videos. So, again, everybody, thanks for taking time to attend, and you guys take care. We'll see you guys pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Y'all take care.
I look forward to drinking your beer there, Papa.
and fire's happening.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.